Hi there. I'm going to be walking you through a presentation on the concept of corner petals, a concept designed by my friend Corey Falvo and myself, David West, for the Mozilla Labs Design Challenge for summer 2009. So I thought I'd start by addressing some problems with tabs. The first being that they're difficult to manage, specifically with a power user with 20 plus tabs open in a single browser instance. That's the key the key issue we're trying to address with our design. Some other issues that we found, though, especially in terms of management, was there's no built-in organization like grouping of tabs. They just kind of go up there as you open up new tabs. So there's, unless you're using plugins, of course. So that was just kind of another issue we wanted to kind of take into consideration. Other ones that we noticed was that they actually consume screen real estate, which isn't a big issue with large PCs and large screened areas, or if you have that. But with netbooks becoming more popular in small devices and mobile ones, that 40 pixels of height can make a little bit more of a more area for your browser viewport and make a bit of a potentially a better browser experience for the user. And browsers were never really designed with touchscreens in mind, so because tabs are exceptionally wide and short. So if you're using your fingers to kind of tap parts on a tablet PC to kind of open up a tab, and you have larger fingers, like myself, for example, it might actually be a bit less of a browser experience for you. So our idea is corner petals, and as you can see in the mock-up here, we actually store pages in the corners of the browser. So you can see here we have little icons in the corners here representing different pages and groups of pages actually. And you see in the top left you can actually expand the corners into what we call a balloon state. And you can see the different petals here, each petal being a separate page. So I'll kind of walk through this a little bit in further detail, this functionality, and then we'll walk through some mock-ups. So as we were saying, so how do corner petals work? As we were saying, they are stored in the corners of the browser, and pages are grouped together by their domain. So all Google pages are represented by a single icon in a corner. Now the icon that we're going to use is actually the domain favicon. So in terms of Google's favicon, would show up in the little corner there. That way you know that all your Google pages are there. That saves you some screen real estate immediately, because if you have 6 pages open, you'd only have one icon visible to you at any given time, which is pretty decent. Now the size of each icon is based on the number of pages that are open in relation to the other domains. So just a quick example here, if you have 6 Wikipedia pages open and 3 Google pages open, the Wikipedia icon will be twice as large. So just to give you a second example with a bit more of a visual, if we have 1 Wikipedia page, 2 Instructables.com pages, and 3 GiantBomb.com pages, you can see in this pre-bloomed corner here that we can see the GiantBomb.com favicon is larger than the other two because it has the most pages, and it's all in relation to and the Wikipedia being the smallest one because it only has 1. So that's what we kind of mean by the relationship there in terms of size. When you're minimizing a page, we wanted to integrate gestural based interfaces and touch interfaces into this, so we thought we could actually have the user actually drag or toss a page into the corner of their choosing. So you'd literally kind of wipe your finger across the screen into the top left, for example, and it would actually throw the page into that corner. It would just disappear and you'd be left with a clean slate. If you want to open a new page using something like Control-T, to kind of a keyboard shortcut like I do, your browser can have some default behaviors here, like have a default corner where all your pages will immediately be stored, or you can have smart corners where it'll evenly distribute the pages amongst the corners, that sort of thing. So it's kind of there's different behaviors you can have for that, but it's kind of an interesting concept, we thought. In terms of opening a page, the user, we wanted to kind of change it up here a bit. So if you go into the corner here and you have a Wikipedia icon and a Google icon, you can actually hover over that and it would actually bloom the corner, and you'd have a bunch of petals. Now each petal, or each corner petal, represents a single page that is being stored in that particular corner. So for example, if you had, like I said, Google pages or a Google icon and a Wikipedia icon in the top right hand corner, for example, and then you expanded that or bloomed the corner, you would have a number of different pages from Google and Wikipedia. And as our example here, if we had 6 pages from Google and 3 Wikipedia pages, that would mean that our Google icon this time is twice as large than our Wikipedia one. You would have 9 petals that appear to the user. So kind of a neat, interesting way of kind of storing your pages or your tabs. The other thing is that petals will be sorted by domain and contain the page title. So that way you can obviously see what page you're looking at here. And we're actually looking at another idea of actually sorting them by color as well, if that's actually useful. On hover over a petal, the petal will actually increase in size, give you a further description of the page, and maybe even do something kind of neat, maybe give you a small little screenshot and to show you what's on your page. So it's kind of an interesting idea of how to do that. So let's walk through some wireframes and mockups, clear up some of this functionality here. So this is a wireframe diagram we came up with in terms of pre-bloom corners. So you can see in the top right, all the corners here have different favicons here. The largest being Google, meaning we have the most Google pages open. Now we don't know how many we have exactly, but we know where all our Google pages are. They're in the top right. We have some Mozilla pages open. In the bottom left we have Bing.com pages. So that's just kind of the idea of how the corners should be kind of sorted out here. Here's another mock-up, our original one that we kind of looked at near the beginning, where we can see in the corners we have actually the same different favicons sorted throughout. Now this was another idea that Corey and I threw around, where the user could actually sort the pages as you wanted. So you can see how Wikipedia is kind of in each one of these corners. So let's say you're doing work with, you want to research some physics research with Wikipedia, and then you want to look up butterflies, for example. You can put all your butterflies in the top right-hand corner, and then you can put all your physics pages in the bottom left or something like that. So that's kind of another interesting idea that you could do with these corner petals, as we call them. So here's another wireframe of a bloomed corner. Now if we were to expand the original example, if we were to bloom the other corner, you can see what we mean by each tab or each page is represented by a single petal. And as you hovered over them, that would increase in size. You could get a bit more of a description of it. And then another way of doing it is you could actually pluck the petal and put it onto your screen if you wanted to use a touch-based interface, and that would actually display that petal, so it'd be, or that page. So that'd be kind of an interesting idea, and you can see they're sorted by domain and by color here. One thing we wanted to make sure we addressed here is that we did say we wanted to address the screen real estate issue of tabs, and you might be looking at this going, well, you're consuming more space than you originally did, or that tabs already do. So where are you going with this? Well, the key point here is that we're using the user's focus on the application. So when the user is trying to change a page here or go through their tabs, they're not looking at the browser viewport for page content. They're looking at the tabs. So in reality, when you hover over a corner and you expand out or you bloom the corner, you would actually consume, you could even take more of this and actually have more of a description in there or whatever you'd like, because the user should be looking for the pages. This kind of gives them more area to actually kind of learn about what pages they have open and whatnot. So that's just kind of wanted to address that issue as we went along here. And to walk through another mock-up here, our original one that we saw, we can see in the top left here, we've expanded our corner, and we have different petals for each page here, and they're all sorted by color and also by domain. So just kind of an interesting idea of how you can store tabs, something outside the box and something different, and that integrates new technologies that we're seeing more apparent today in the world of computers. So that pretty much covers it. That covers the idea of corner petals, their functionality. So just thought I'd walk through some quick credits here. The two designers here are Corey Falvo, a self-proclaimed space cowboy, whatever that means. And the other half here on the corner petals design is David West, myself. You can read my blog at westyware.com. Which is not a typo here. There are two S's in my last name and in Westyware, so feel free, come visit me and read about my UI and UI development work that I like to blog about. And I am a rich internet application developer with Anvil Digital in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed our presentation.